Hello, this video is, I'm talking about my future. I think I made a video before that I think like everybody, we should have future class. We should have history class every single semester in school, but we should also have future class as part of history class. In fact, every single semester in school, you should have future class and then also history class. But when you do future, I'm going to do prediction videos, but I think we should do future of ourselves, and then upload it year by year, and then compare how your ideas about the future are. And it's a really great study for your psychology and also the state of the world, you know, because people predict what they want to do based on the situation of the world and how they are, and just how people change their mentally as they get older. So today is the future of my life video. You know, and also how comparing how like consistent you are and stuff. So here's the future of my life video for this day. And this day is the day of the 30th of August 2011. So I'm going to do the next 30th of August 2012, if I remember. Hopefully I do. I'm going to do a future of my life then, and I'm going to compare like how it all panned out. Okay. So this is my life, how my life's gonna turn out, what I'm gonna do with my life. Yeah, because in the past I did all like stuff that I planned didn't pan out. Like last year I was gonna go on a kayak trip. That didn't pan out because I was planning on doing it with my friend, and then my friend bailed on me like 2 months before we were gonna leave. And I wasn't mentally prepared to do that by myself because I'm afraid of deep water because those goddamn sharks, the sea beasts. Like when you're in a kayak, your butt is like below water level, and you're like literally right there with the sharks. And yeah, that just freaked me out. And I mean, it doesn't freak me out if I'm with somebody else, but if I'm by myself, I was like, ew. And besides, it seemed like a really long time to be by myself. And I just wanted to have fun, you know, party and have fun, and not like be out there like on something that could potentially be like physically uncomfortable. You know, I'm not totally sure. Anyways, it just seemed a lot more tempting to just bike tour around Europe. And I had a blast bike touring around Europe, dude. I saw all these historical sites in Greece, and saw all these capital cities, and it was really fun. But I do want to do that kayak trip. But now when I do the kayak trip, I'm basically I've gotten my head around, it didn't take long. It only took like a day or two. I've gotten my head around to doing that by myself. I think I'm going to do the kayak trip by myself. I am going to invite people to do it with me. I'm going to say like, you know, anybody who wants to come can come do it with me, and then they can come and do like trips with me. You know, and if they want to do this, but I'm also going to have it set up so that they can leave whenever they want. And I can just do it by myself. And then like, you know, I could like meet somebody on the coast of like the Dominican Republic, and then be like, hey, you want to kayak with me for a couple 100 miles down the way? And they'll be like, sure. And it's like, cool. I knew this German kid who was doing that with a tandem mountain bike throughout South America, and I rode with him across the Bolivian Altiplano. And then he like let me go, and then he picked somebody else up to bike tour with, you know, on his tandem. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do that with my kayak. And but there's one trip that I think I want to do before that's calling me more than my kayak trip. And I want to swim down the Mississippi River, dude. Swimming down a river seems like a fucking cool thing to do. One other dude has swum down the Mississippi River, but he did it, I think he did it with support boats. I'm not totally sure, because when I saw the video on YouTube of him doing it, he wasn't carrying anything. He was just swimming in a wetsuit by himself. So I'm going to have a different strategy. I'm going to have a wetsuit. I'm going to have snorkel goggles and snorkel fin and those big hand paddle thingies. And in case I get attacked by a snake or a fucking alligator, I'm going to have 2 knives here to kill it. Yeah, dude, I'm terrified of sea beasts, man. I've always been. I think I was eaten by like a shark, like in my last life or something. Terrified of deep water. So I want to get accustomed to water first, but I want to swim down the Mississippi because it seems like something that is kind of could be kind of like safe and affordable, you know? And it'd be a good warm up to the kayak trip. Yeah, so I'm going to have my sweatsuit, and I'm going to sew on the back of my wetsuit. I'm going to sew like a pouch that's not really big enough for my hammock. I'm going to sleep in a hammock that's about this big. And then next to that, it'll be like my like credit cards and stuff. And then a little dry pouch with street clothes that I can walk around in. And, oh shit, I think I'm going to need a sleeping bag too. Yeah, and then a sleeping bag. So it'll be a pouch like this big, but it'll be small enough to be able to swim in if I'm on my breast and still be water efficient, and I'll have fins. So I'll be able to go at a pretty good clip, you know, maybe like 100 miles a day. Not average 100 miles a day, maybe like maximum 100 a day and average like 50 miles a day or something. But basically do the Mississippi, it's 3,000 miles. And then in that summer, and then go and get on my kayak, because I already have all the gear for my kayak trip already ready. That's like major bonus. Pretty much all of it. I have to get like a couple of things, but it's not that much money. And then I'm going to take my kayak out to the Great Salt Lake. And I'm going to hang out on the Great Salt Lake for like a week and learn how to work that the GPS thing, where I look at it and I just go to find a place on the beach somewhere on the other side and paddle out there, and then hang out on the lake for an entire week by myself. And then and maybe like Nicky Windtogger, my buddy I've never met him, but he's my YouTube buddy. He lives out there. Maybe he'll go out there and kayak with me for a little bit. And then I'm going to drive down to Miami, go down to Key West, and I'm going to kayak from Key West up to Miami. And then I'm going to kayak from Miami to Bimini and then do my kayak trip. I'm going to start from 50 miles south of Miami, go to Bimini, go across the Bahamas, down to Jamaica, Dominican Republic, Eastern Antilles, across the coast of South America, check out Aruba and those islands, up Colombia to Jamaica and around Cuba, and then back to America. A big loop-de-doop-de, which will be like 4,000 miles or something like that. But I get to check out 30 different countries, hike a whole bunch of volcanoes, hang out chill on a whole bunch of different beaches, fish and stuff. And yeah, and then maybe even do parts of that with some friends, there's a bunch of people, a bunch of dudes who have expressed interest in doing that trip with me. And before I had it in my head that I had to do the trip with one person. I wanted to do the trip with one person because I wasn't into the idea of having to, kayak 100 miles across the ocean by myself in a kayak. But now I can totally see myself kayaking 100 miles across the ocean by myself in a kayak. I'll just don't think about those sharks. And just do it. But for some reason last summer I just wasn't feeling it. I wanted to go bike touring instead. But yeah, so anyways, what's the timeline? That's actually the order, but what's the timeline? Okay, well it's August of 2011 now. I'm $2,500 in debt, which is more in debt than I was a year ago. I'm coming up on a year anniversary living in my van. But I did spend a lot of money on shit that I'm not going to have to spend money on. It was kind of like growing pains, living in my van type of thing, spending money. I spent $250 getting a new alternator, which I didn't have to do because I didn't realize that I just needed to keep the car on 15 to 20 minutes every time I turn it on. That's some other electrical related stuff that I don't think I'll have to fix again. Oh man, I can hear myself. What is wrong with my ear? Did I puncture my eardrum? But anyways, I'm hoping that I won't have to get a job, but I might have to get a job. If I get a job, I'll definitely be able to pay off my credit cards, but See, the reason I don't want to get a job is because I'll have more time to finish my timeline. My timeline is what I'm working on now, and it's really time consuming. And before I was talking about how it would take me like 3 years to finish it, but now I'm thinking I might burn out on my timeline before 3 years. Especially because my body is deteriorating. My lungs are in really bad shape. I can't sleep. Like I wasn't able to get up until 10 o'clock this morning because I wasn't able to get to sleep until like 5 this morning because I couldn't breathe. No matter how many times I took my inhaler, even when I'm not breathing, I feel like my lungs are like solid, like rock. Like I think I've got black lung, and it's really uncomfortable. But when I exercise, like when I was bike touring, I was able to sleep and I was able to breathe a lot better. Like it helps. Getting out there and breathing fresh air and exercising helps. So I might have to resort to doing that sooner. So anyways, but my prediction, it's good to have solid prediction of what you're going to do, even though shit could change. My prediction is that I'm going to go down to Bellingham on the 7th. It's the 29th now. I'm going to go down to Bellingham on the 7th. I'm going to upload all these videos. It's going to be awesome to upload a fuckload of videos and know that they're all going to go. I'm going to upload all my videos. And then I'm going to try to get into Canada. If they let me into, I'm going to work up a big portfolio, showing how much I make, how much money I have in the bank account, on both of my bank accounts, my joint account and my checking account. I've got tax receipts, a letter from my mom saying that she can test that I have those tax receipts. Videos of all my YouTube videos showing my migration patterns, that I move around and that I have traveled around, so that I have had money. And yeah, and if they let me in, I'm going to be in Vancouver for like 2 months. If they don't let me in, 2 weeks. If they don't let me in, I'm going to be in Seattle until it gets cold. And I don't know how cold it's going to be or how much I'm going to deal with that. But I can basically be in Seattle as long as I want because there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 Gold's Gyms in Seattle, and I can go to each one 14 times. So I can be there for 2.5 months, just in Seattle. And then there's this town like Takajami or something, just east of Seattle, that has 2 Gold's Gyms. And then Spokane has 2 Gold's Gyms. So I can be up here in Washington all the way through the winter time. So I'm basically going to be in the Washington area, not trying to spend money in gas. And I might even get in the habit of swimming across this one lake. That'd be cool, because I do have my wetsuit with me in Seattle. But I don't know, maybe not. I'm just going to try to work in the gym. There's one gym that has internet, but that's the only one that I know of. I know that these other 2 don't have internet. And I kind of need internet to do a good job on my timeline. But there might be some sections I can do in the timeline where I don't need internet. But I pretty much do need internet if I'm going to be any good with my timeline. I'm constantly referring back to Wikipedia stuff. But so yeah, I'm going to be up in the Seattle area, and then I'm going to mosey towards Boulder. And I might be only in Seattle for a couple months because I want to spend time in other. My idea is to spend a significant amount of time, like at least a couple of weeks, in each state. So I'm gonna definitely want to be hanging out in like Idaho for like a couple of weeks, even if there's no Gold's Gym, just like in a library in some town in Idaho, just to say I did Idaho. And then go to Montana. I think Billings has a couple of Gold's Gyms, so go there, hang out there. And then go down to Boulder, hang out with my mom in Boulder for the rest of the winter. And then next summer, I'm going to mosey back up north yonder, up into the North Dakotas, North and South Dakota, and like Minnesota and stuff or whatever. And spend pretty much the whole summer up there. And then, so that's going to be the summer of 2012. And then the winter of 2012, I'm going to go down to like New Orleans, I think. Check out New Orleans, Houston, New Orleans area. Spend the winter down there and then go up. And Now this is where it's going to get fuzzy because it pretty much depends on how much money I have. Being $2,500 in debt, if I pay $200 a day, $200 a month off, I can pay it off in a year. So basically I'm going to be optimistic, plan on being able to pay my credit card off or get a job and pay my credit card off that way. Maybe a job in Boulder or a job in some town that I just, I wake up one morning. That's kind of how I am. I wake up one morning and I go, all right, I'm sick of this shit. So I might wake up one morning and be like, all right, I'm sick of this not having money. I need to do a vacation. I'm going to get a job, pay off my debts, do my vacation. So I might do that. So anyways, I think I'm going to be good for all this winter working, all next summer working in the north, and then all winter, and then maybe the summer of 2013, I'm going to, the summer of the 2013, I'm going to swim down the Mississippi River. And if I have the money, which I'm sure that I won't, but if I have the money, 2013, the fall of 2013, I'm going to do my kayak trip around the Caribbean. And if it's not that fall, it'll be the next fall. Because I have to start in like October, because that's the end of the hurricane season. And I have to start at the end of the hurricane season in order to avoid those and to be able to get home before the end of it. So I'll do that probably in the fall of 2013, but more likely the fall of 2014. And it could take me as little as 6 months if all I do is paddle. And if I don't finish it within the hurricane season, I'll probably just like spend that winter or that summer or whatever, the hurricane season, in whatever country I stop in, like if it's South America, and just get a job teaching English, like if I'm somewhere out there, and then finish it. Or just, actually you can kayak during the hurricane season. You just wait till the hurricane passes and then you go to the next island. So I think I'll just do it all. Probably take me about 6 months, 8 months or something like that. But I will, or maybe even more. It could take me up to an entire year because I might want to hang out on the islands, climbing mountains and stuff. So say I start that in 2014 and then I'm done the fall of 2015. That's when I'm done with my kayak trip. And then I'm going to go home. That's when I'm going to finish my timeline. It'll take me like another year or two. So I'll work on my timeline until like 2018. And then I'm going to do a bike tour through, across Russia, across Siberia. I'm going to go from I'm going to fly from America to Iceland, right around Iceland, and then right across Ireland, and then Scotland, and then fly to Belarus, and then ride my bike from Belarus all the way across Russia, and then across the Great Wall of China, or maybe not. And then maybe I'll get a job teaching English in like Korea or Taiwan, or I'll go home, and then I'm gonna wanna move to Hawaii and surf in Hawaii for like a couple of months, for like a summer, and bike tour around, live in my bike, and then I'll go and maybe do a road trip around America and work on my timeline some more. My timeline might end up, or not just my timeline, on my website, like my ideas about political stuff and economic stuff and educational stuff, website type of related stuff. I'll work on that because I do eventually want to live in every single state in America out of my van, like the way I'm now, basically having been to everywhere. So then maybe we're talking like 10 years in the future, right? 2021. Maybe my wife's boyfriend will die of a heart attack and or cancer or something. And then she'll need a new man, so she'll take me back. And she'll be kind of old then. She's like 4 years older than me, but her daughter will be like 14, and her daughter's my daughter. Even though she doesn't admit it, I know that it is because I've seen the pictures. So then I could import her and her son, she and her son. And all of a sudden I'd be Insta family dude. And my mom's going to be about 80. So that'd be cool for my mom to have Insta family with me and my Insta family. But then I'm going to want to go on another, and after I ride my bike across, Russia, I'm going to do the 24 hours of Moab again, because I'm going to be really fast. I'm going to be a lot lighter and faster than I was last year because the bike tour is a lot bigger and a lot more miles and more steady, more constant riding and stuff. Yeah, but then I'm gonna finish living in the States in America. And then I'm going to, I know you're thinking like, what are you going to do for money? Well, maybe I'm going to make money with donations to my timeline and ads on my timeline and history lessons on my timeline. Or I'm just going to end, of course, living on my oil money. And when I run out or when I need more money, I'm going to get a job as a window washer if I can, or just any job that I can. Maybe I could get a job making sandwiches. I've always been kind of interested in that, or get a job at Starbucks. And I'm also, when I go back to Boulder, I'm also going to apply to all the teaching jobs, try to get a job as a history teacher, social studies teacher, substitute teacher, tutor teacher. And then maybe I'll take a 3-month massage course in Colorado to get my license so I could be a massage therapist and do Thai massage, because I'm really good at that. And it's something you can do, teaching for yourself and stuff. But I'm not really factoring in the money jobs at this point. I'm just factoring in timeline and the goals I want to do. And then I'm going to do a big trip where I'm going to ski to the South Pole from take a boat down there on the sled that I invented, that I'm going to invent myself. I already made the design for it. It's basically a big sled that's made out of like see-through glass. It's mounted on like 4 skis, and it's got latches so that I pull it with my skis all day long. And then when I'm done, instead of having to set up a tent like people do now, getting your hands cold and using energy, all I do is open up the latch and I jump in, right? So when I wake up, I don't have to spend any time setting or take anything up or taking anything down. I just wake up, I can cook all my thing in the thing, I'd have the little air flaps, and then I get out and I just start skiing and I get in and there you go. And it's totally flat. And so I'm going to ski like to the South Pole and then back. And then I'm going to do that North Pole thing where you ski and swim to the North Pole. And then and then I'm going to do a kayak trip around the Aegean Sea, around all those islands in the in Greece, to all of those like ancient islands, because I'm going to be really good at history by then. I'm going to like retrace the steps of Jason and the Argonauts and stuff. And I'm also going to want to do like lots of bike touring also throughout all the other countries I have never been to before. I'm going to want to spend like 6 months in Egypt, in India, and check out Egypt. I'd like to do a trip with my mom. I want to do it at one point. I'd like to do it before she gets too old. Do a trip with my mom to the to Mexico, to the all the sites in Mexico, and the Mayan sites, and then when I'm older, I'm gonna row a boat all the way around the world. I don't know if anybody's done that or if anybody will have done that by then, and if somebody had done that by then, I'm going to want to break the record, because what I'm going to want to do is just row the thing all the way around the world. But I'm definitely going to will have done because that's going to take like a year or more to do that. So it's going to be something I'm definitely going to want to have already traveled to some of the places that I'm going to be passing before I do that trip, so that I don't look at it and I go, oh shit, I wish I was there or something, So, so to do all those things that I've listed realistically will probably take maybe like 20 years or more. So I'll be like 50, 60 by then. But, I will have had the family and kids thing down, because I already do have a daughter. So I think that's cool, even though she's only my biological daughter, and she's not officially my daughter, her father is the real daughter, and even if he stays alive and never dies, I still will always have somebody who has my seed and who looks like me, which is cool. And yeah, hang out with my wife some more. And then that's when I'm going to basically be veering in towards politics and try to get the political system and the tax money and all that stuff to be supporting my my ideas about reform, educational political reform. I also like to, maybe I could make money selling posters, my timeline posters, to schools, like laminated, really nice, high quality versions of my timeline poster to all these different schools in the world and make money that way. Yeah, and then I'll get into politics and I'll carry that on through. Yeah, so that's basically what I plan on doing. That's my plan for life. So in 1 year, when I make my new video of what I plan on doing in my life, I predict that I'm going to be, let's see, it's going to be the end of the summer. It's going to be August, the end of August of 2012. I predict I'm going to be like in North Dakota, Minnesota-ish, living in my van, working on my timeline, basically. You know, being in the Gold's Gym. Basically with the same exact goals as I have right now. Going, yeah, I kind of have a little bit more money now. I think hopefully by next summer, the beginning of next summer, which is going to be the summer of 2013, I'm going to be swimming down the Mississippi River, baby. So we'll see how that works out. Okay, peace out.